Welcome to the PrimeSpan Podcast, where we talk about aging, mental health, and living well in the years that matters the most. Each week, we cut through the noise to focus on what actually helps you feel clearer, steadier, and more in control as you age. If you're navigating the second half of life or thinking ahead, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
I want to welcome both of you back to PrimeSpan Podcast. Hi, Allyson. Hi, Kassandra. It's today when we're going to talk about something very intriguing, and because we are living in this most innovative era of longevity science, yet people feel more overwhelmed. Still, some people are confused, and some people are probably behind than ever. And so the main question that I'm going to draw from this podcast episode today is, are we being lied about the whole idea about longevity that's being brought to us, about all of this advancement that's currently in front of us? Are these items that we have in front of us actually works? I want to ask you, both of you, when you hear the future of longevity, what excites you and what concerns you?
When I hear the future of longevity, what scares me personally is I don't know how long I'm going to live, and what my condition is going to be like. Am I going to be happy, healthy, and capable, or am I going to need help? That's the thing that kind of scares me. But if I am happy and healthy, I would hope that I could reflect on what did I do in my life to get to this point where I'm capable and confident. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think some of it is some overwhelmed. Cass, what do you have in mind when you think about the future of longevity? What excites you and what concerns you?
I'm excited to see how all of the fillers and plastic surgery actually end up looking like later. No. Okay. In all seriousness, though, I have been around people who are in their 90s and they still have purpose and they're moving. And I just think that that's beautiful. And that's what excites me to, potentially have that to look forward to, and, truly be in a space where our last podcast, I was talking about liberation, and I think even then, I'm still gonna want to be able to feel that in that time of my life. What scares me are the people that I love and care about going to be there with me enjoying it, because if they're not, I don't know if it's worthwhile or not for myself to aspire for a longer life. But theoretically speaking, yes, like I would hope that everyone is there. We kind of talked about this, I think, on our first maybe podcast or second podcast.
Health span versus lifespan.
Yeah, right. And this kind of ties in a little bit to that. So that's what it's also scary just to think about, what does the future look like with all of the technology? Like, what is life going to look like? We talk about pre-COVID times and how life was like pre-COVID. And it's just that could also be a little scary, the unknown.
Well, I think there's definitely anxiety about a lot of it when you think about all of this advancement. The other thing is, especially if your family is not on the same page as yours, as you.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the other thing. Is your family in the same page as you?
Right. Right.
Are they injecting the same thing? Are they doing the same thing?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a good possibility that some of my family members would be there too. Yeah.
In this episode, I'm gonna bring up some of the topics I want to say in this episode are tools that are very current, and I want to clarify for those that are listening that we're not anti-science. We're very science driven, science informed, and we're trying to look for a real breakthrough, and we're always trying to find is the issue of how we're being told and how we're using these items, and because what's going on, as we know, is that there's so many the world of influencer. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm an influencer. I'm on all social media night lately, but what we're trying to accomplish for members that are listening is take away all those chatters, take away all those noise. And so hopefully by doing this this episode, we can provide some good conversation, some good clarity about the most recent advancement when it comes to longevity, and what are those things. The first item I want to bring up to this topic, GLP-1 drugs, which is probably the most fascinating advancement. Everybody that, when you think about the metabolic impact, the GLP-1 drug, Ozempic, Mounjaro, all of these GLP-1s, the metabolic impact it's accomplished, the weight loss effectiveness of the drug, and how it's been rapidly adapted, and how it's been used. It's been one of the most fascinating advancement this past years, and it's huge when it comes to the longevity advancement, to the point that even it's being used so many times, and but there's also downside to that, because downside to that is there's when people are using these medications, as you all know, muscle loss is at risk. You've seen that when people lose muscles, and especially they don't plan this. If an older adult use GLP-1, the frailty of that, when your muscles are lost, a fall can happen and you don't have that protection in your bone. And the dependency without the habit is quite dangerous, because you become dependent to the drugs because you don't have any habit formation around it. And so if a drug that lowers weight but accelerates frailty, is that longevity, or is that a cost? Is that something that is actually for longevity, or is it just a hype? What are you all thinking, and what do you think about? What's your opinion about GLP-1s?
I think that I think there's more pros than cons. I think that, but I also, I really haven't looked into it too much. But what I will say is, that's the concern that I would have if I were to, let's say, decide, okay, I want to add this to, daily life for me. One of the concerns I would have is, becoming dependent on that as the fix versus actually changing the habit, and is it worth losing, muscle when you're still very much capable of, maybe trying a little harder without having to add the GLP-1s into the mix. For some people, I'm not, that's just for myself. But there's a lot of doctors that I've listened to that do recommend it and agree that it is more helpful than harmful. It's interesting though that it's as widely as it's used and talked about and popularized, there's still an element of shame for some people who are using it.
You bring up the interesting point. An element.
I'm going to leaving my comments there.
Allie, I'm curious, what's in your mind about GLP-1s?
Yeah, thanks for giving me some time to process. I think that it's a combo that it seems like it could be a quick fix for someone in the moment, but it could also help someone be at a starting point of, I'm going to start this medication, plus I'm going to try to adjust parts of my lifestyle, my diet, my exercise. That it could just be that it's an indicator that, okay, I'm going to do these things now, because at some point someone might not need to be on it. And what are you going to do after that? Are you just going to go back to eating and doing things you were? Because there are ways to manage diet and weight loss without medication, but I think it is a good booster. But is it the main thing? I don't think it has to be. I don't think it needs to be dependent on. But it's good that we have the resource to help us also at the same time.
I'm going to throw both of you a question, and I'm going to include myself in the question. If you were a 500-pounder, would you take GLP-1?
I probably would.
Yeah.
I probably would, because at that point, hopefully I'm definitely seeing a doctor and have like a medical team around me if I'm, if that's where my weight is at.
Yeah.
Because that's very scary.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, with muscle loss and, you're probably not moving around as easily. So one fall, could be detrimental and really change. It would really change the landscape for myself. But yes, I more than likely would do that.
I would probably say yes as well, because at that point I probably have tried and nothing has worked, and here's a magic medication that's going to help me. And who doesn't want, if the goal is to lose weight and be a little healthier and reach the goal of what I want or what the doctor wants, then so be it.
I think too, it starts to probably give you the gift of confidence, because you do start to lose the weight and you start maybe feeling better and people are complimenting you. So it might motivate you to continue with the good habits and recognize, okay, I've been given this gift. I'm helping myself, and I know that now it's working, and maybe I like myself a little bit more now, so I'm willing to invest and be more disciplined than maybe I was before. And I don't know, everyone's different. who knows how a person ends up, at 500 pounds, 600 pounds, whatever it might be. I don't want to, say that it's all bad habits.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I think that I would, do that. And even for some people who aren't maybe weighing, 500 pounds, maybe 200-300 pounds, even then, I think that it's could give as I'm kind of, Ally, you're bringing me a little bit over to what you were sharing, and I'm aligning more with you. It's that boost, I think, sometimes, and you get more of you get quicker results maybe that you're seeing, so you're more inclined to like, okay, now I'm going to really start to make this part of my daily lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You see, I'm aligned with you both. I would take it if I was at that weight, or if I was at 400, 300, 250, I would take it. I would take it. Definitely. If it's there, I would take it. And if it's going to improve my health, I will take it. And to your point, Kat, it's that one compounding thing that would add into your confidence, and then that confidence will make you work out, and then that workout is going to make you change and things. And hopefully that's the case. hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that's not gonna replace the foundation, and hopefully not like other people who doesn't put any system around it, and that's just relying on, I'm just taking GLP-1 and not eat enough protein, and not exercise, because that's a problem. So I would take it anytime, and I think that's the other fascinating point that you dropped earlier, is the shame factor, where people are still hiding if they're taking it. And I think that should actually not be the case. It's other countries that cannot access this medication are dying to get it, because they need it so bad. They need to access it, while in our area, in our country, pill form is even coming out this year. A pill form of GLP-1s, which is much more cheaper and much more accessible for people, to help you maintain your weight. I think it's amazing. But you need to make it not to replace your foundation. How about wearables? AI wearables, rings, watches. I mean, I wear an Oura ring all the time. The explosion of health data. This is a huge advancement now. Everybody's tracking. You see the people that catches staff. You see people tracking tracking their glucose nonstop, even if they're not diabetic. Tracking everything. I used to track my ketone ester. I used to poke my finger. I don't know. Remember that, Kassandra? I poke my finger every day.
I do remember that.
And this is before keto was in. Before keto was a topic. I would poke my finger to check my ketone level. If I was
this was like 2014, 2015. You were doing that.
I didn't know this.
I would poke my finger because I have a machine that check my ketone level, and to make sure I'm in ketosis all the time. I poke it in the evening at work. I'm like, but and I would check it every time. But what do you think of explosion of this health data, increasing of awareness of all of this data driven things, wearables? What are your thoughts? You think awareness alone create changes? Or is this another generational hype?
I think this is going to stick around I don't see this as generational hype. The wearables, I have a watch and it does track my sleep, and I find that to be very helpful because it was very insightful to see kind of what my sleep cycles are looking like, and I wasn't too happy, so I made a few changes and then to see the improvement. And then also just the, tracking your exercise, whatever whatever exercise activity you're engaging in. It's helpful because maybe you decide, okay, tomorrow I'm just going to do it a little bit harder and see if I can move the dial. But again, I think it also goes back to, are you disciplined? Are you going to do something with this data that you're getting? And if you're not, it's just a trend for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about the trend, right? Because it's just when the Apple Watch first came out, or the fitness watch, it was just such a big. Actually, the first one I had was it was a Fitbit.
Fitbit was the first one.
Yeah, and it was just such a different. It was definitely part of the hype. Oh, everybody's getting this tracker, and I think it kind of helps. My perspective, it has helped keep me in check. Instead of having a daily kind of diary or something to write stuff down, in which I don't do, it's good that the data is there and it's a reference point, like, oh, I didn't move enough today, or I didn't take as many steps. But it's also impressive if you're like when I went to Japan and I was walking 20,000 steps a day, I said, wow, my body's really capable of doing this. But yeah, the more data, the more interesting it is, because I have the watch and the ring now too, and I don't know, the data's cool. I've never had access to that before. The interesting thing also with the app for the Oura Ring, you can take a picture of your food, and it has an AI. It can track the calories and stuff. But there's other apps before that you had to add in how much food you're eating. It was very manual. And with the AI technology now, it's pretty instant, which is really, time saving in a world where we're all trying to have more time. So it's pretty cool, and I can only see it advancing. I've seen some ads for this other one that's like an earring now.
Earring?
I've just seen it in the last week or so, and I said, "Oh,
yeah,
interesting."
Yeah, it's really pretty too. It's really like simple and just classy. And I did see that, Allie. That was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
It'll just be a chip soon inside of our bodies, I think, is what it's good.
But it's much more scary because the AI, the glasses from Meta are like advancing so quick. And I mean, to your point, I didn't know the earrings, but all of this wearable are fascinating. However, you bring up the point. What are you doing with the data? I mean, I look at my sleep all the time. It just makes me depressed all the time. It's like, oh, red constantly. But it reminds me of how resilient I am. It's like, oh, I can just go work on this and I'm fine.
Your sleep depth must be very high.
70s, 80s is always around that time. So yeah, my Kassandra, I have your ring. You have to stop by.
I have to stop being sick, but yes, well, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's also interesting for tracking like women's health as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of added in.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing, it's one of the most accurate stuff that you'll find nowadays. But we've gone so far from before it was just a pedometer.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much, and it's just how much, it was like something that just how much you shake the pedometer to where it is now. It's the most fascinating thing. Oh my goodness, that's the huge advancement. What do you think of here's another thing. There's so much supplements. Here's a third item I want to bring up. Supplements and stacks. I mean, I'm a fan of supplements. I don't know what you're all think of supplements. I don't know what you take. We don't have to discuss what we take here, but if you want to discuss what you take of a supplements, we can talk about it. But supplements, stacks, these are there's some supplements out there. Like I was looking at, there's some supplements out there that a subscription are like $100 per month, $150 per month, some of them $200 per month. It's expensive. And AG1, on it. I mean, there's so many brands. Again, I'm not trying to take down any brand here, but I'm talking about supplements and stacks. What are your opinions about supplements, and what do you think about it, especially the current type of supplements out there?
I think that supplements are helpful to boost whatever you're trying to really focus on. I also think that you probably should consult with your doctor to see if you do need to be careful with how much magnesium can you really be taking, or should you be taking, what type of magnesium does your body need. I think that's important to have that understanding of where your levels are at before you start making them part of your daily routine, especially if you are having a pretty good stack of supplements. I do take collagen, which is almost instantaneously you see the benefits from collagen. At least I do, in terms of like hair and skin and nails and all that. I do take magnesium.
What type?
I do the one for sleep that does not upset your stomach.
One that Shannon recommended, glycinate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I do take that one. So the thing that I had to do though is on the bottle it says to take 2, but I would wake up feeling very groggy. So I take 1, and I don't do it every day. I take it like every other day, because I realize like it's a little too much for me when sleep isn't like a huge challenge for me at the moment. But on nights where I know that I'm gonna have a little trouble sleeping tonight or getting to sleep, then I will take it, and I see the benefits of it. And then I just recently last week started taking ashwagandha, and we'll see kind of how that reacts. I don't really have an update on that yet. And then vitamin. It also depends too on what my exercise level is. When I've been training, like I definitely take a lot more vitamins, just for joints and muscle and all of that. So it really just kind of depends on what my lifestyle is and through the season.
Those are the list of supplements you take typically.
And probiotics, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Allie, what do you think? And I'm curious, what are you thinking?
I am really bad. I should be taking supplements, but I don't. The supplement I know that my doctor recommended for me is to take vitamin D because I don't have enough. Okay, my honest confession, I hadn't been to the doctor in quite some time prior to last year. And then I did a blood test and all was good except for my vitamin D, which was very low. And, my grandma had osteoporosis when she was older. And I said, oh my God, I don't want my bone density to go down, long-term effects of not having good vitamin D. So I said, I need to start taking that. That's kind of how, it started. And I take probiotics too, but no, I don't think I get enough supplements from just the food I eat, because I know that I don't eat enough fruits or vegetables. And so I think that it would be a good addition to take more, but it's kind of like, which ones do I take? How much do I take? So I would be influenced by something, online that could easily say, oh, this will help you, So I definitely need to take more vitamins, supplements.
You're not in the hype then. You're part of the you're not getting into the hype. I don't
No.
But you're probably on that's your D levels are probably low because we're in the indoor.
Correct. Yeah, I don't get outside enough.
Yeah, which is so common for all of us who are always at the office setting.
Yeah. I think when that happened to me, well, like I said, I didn't go to the doctor for quite a while. And I think anytime the doctors told me something, I always get scared that, oh my God, it's just me. But the more that I'm vulnerable and talk about it, things are very common that other people experience the same things. So when I shared I have a vitamin D deficiency to, whoever I was talking to, they said, oh, I do too. And so it just made it easier for me to, other people are going through it too. It's not just me. It's a very common thing.
Yeah. I probably take a lot the most. now I'm thinking about this topic. I am a huge fan of taking supplements and vitamins, and I cycle them. I do I make sure that I cycle them based on what do you call this season. When it's winter and summer is very different. That I typically mix it, but I take a good amount of vitamins. Orsolic acid, which is it increases your bone density, but it's through spray. So you spray about 50 spray around your body, and I do this during winter time because it typically helps you maintain brown fat in your bodies. Yeah, across the body. Yeah, so it does that, and so it like about 50 sprays during winter. It dries my skin sometimes too. It's a problem. All right, I'm moving on to the next topic. On the next one, longevity clinics. This is a booming thing lately. Longevity clinics is a huge thing. Some of them are called biohacking clinics. Some of them are longevity clinics. Some of them are IV clinics. Some of this is huge improvement. Med spas, longevity spas. Some of them are very precise when it comes to its what it's worth, and I'm curious if it's actually the problem that I'm seeing is it's longevity for the elite, because some of them are expensive, they're very expensive, or is this just a niche thing? What do you guys think?
I think it's a trend that'll probably go away. There might be a couple that stick around, but they all, not, I shouldn't say they all, but I have seen a ton of ads down here in San Diego for them, and it is very expensive for what they're offering. And honestly, if you're already not doing the work internally, it doesn't make sense to spend your money on it. I think if you are doing the work, you're disciplined, and you're wanting to maximize what you're already doing A, B, C all the way through Z, and you want to maximize, then you take it to that step. But I think if you're not serious about your health, or you're just doing it to hopefully to jumpstart it, I wouldn't spend time on it.
Ali, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's I agree with you. It's for the elite. It's expensive. And how often do you have to go to that is it are you going to go to that forever? And once you stop, what happens? So I agree. I think you need to have something to maintain it, or if people are doing it for a special occasion, preparing for something in their life that they might need that, but I don't think it's something that can be sustained. But for the moment, if you need to feel good, have some confidence, boost yourself, why not? If it's there too, if you can.
It's expensive. The most fascinating thing is they're highly profitable, and a good and there are people that are actually going for it, willing to pay for the treatments. And this some of their treatments are not completely research based.
Women spend $99 a month here at PrimeSpan.
Correct. What other I'm just to ask both of you, what other advancement out there that it's hot that I didn't bring out today, that you may want to poke?
Isn't red light therapy a popular technology now?
The red light and light therapy has been a huge advancement, and some are saying it works, some saying it's not working. When it comes to they said that if it's infrared level, it needs to be a certain heat. If the handheld device are not really penetrating towards your heat. Now, I know, like I've talked to Kassandra's to Aaron, the type of infrared they're using in that studio penetrates far more than your first layer of skin. That is, but the one you have handheld doesn't really penetrate even to your muscles, and so they're selling those things, high ticket price items, and it doesn't even work. What do you? I think that's the big problem with those light therapies.
I think you have to have the heat combination of it. I used to have I still have it, like a little small handheld device for my face, and I promise you, I was like a daily creature, because I have this line right here that I've been blessed with since I was little, because when I think hard, this just like goes like this. And so I would just put that thing over this line for like a year straight and like nothing. But what I did notice, when I drink more water and I have it's so much better. But no, the infrared, I think I've seen a lot of people who've been using it, and a lot of people, some of them have just shared that whatever pain that they were experiencing, they feel like it's helped. Also, they are doing yoga, they're doing other things to help support it. So I can't say that it's all because of just the light and the heat. But there's, and I don't know what the research really says. I have to look at the research for that too.
Yeah.
Just the light itself. No. And places will upsell, and if you're doing like a beauty treatment, they're like, hey, lay on our red light bed. Don't waste your money.
Yeah. Ali, what do you think?
I don't know enough about it. I just know that it's a hype right now.
Yeah. And they're hot. I mean, you have from masks to pain device. I know there's application to it. I mean, in hospitals it works. In physical therapy, you have the red light, but it has an intensity that they use that in therapy. But the ones that you find that it's not
commercial,
commercial, it doesn't really penetrate to your body. I remember when I did physical therapy, it is red light, and it healed my muscle, and it did create some tissue healing. But that's different. It's the same thing with those muscle stimulators with TENS and EMS. Same thing like those things. I mean, those are commercial, so.
I think you get more benefit from like the sauna or the spa than you would from, buying one of those devices, honestly.
Yes.
There's more research on that. They even say just going into, I think Peter Attia was sharing this information too. Just going into the sauna for 10 minutes a day is almost, he didn't say this is all that you need, but he kind of hinted at if people just do that, they're really making a huge impact on their longevity.
Yeah. It can impact your some reversing of cognitive decline.
Yeah.
Especially.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Adam, don't you go to the sauna when you go to the gym?
Every day, if I can, and that's been but I try to do if I can do it. I crank it up like the highest heat for 20 minutes. It needs to go up. So same thing. The problem in these breakthroughs is that it's not that they don't work. It's that some of them they don't. It's that if we don't know how to use them, and that's really the main problem of this breakthrough. Because some of this breakthrough are useful, and some of them have been lifesaver. I mean, we know people that I'm sure you both know people who's been in GLP-1s. It's been lifesaver for them. We all use tracking device that helps us maintain health. It sounds like we all use supplements and stuff, and all of these things are really helpful. And I'm hoping for our listeners, what you get out of this conversation is that all of this advancement in the wellness space, there's a absolute use for it. It's a matter of, it's not a replacement towards the foundation of what you need to do, and it shouldn't be the main tool that you're using. Your habit and your systems, this should be a complementary part of your habits and your systems. Your habits and your lifestyle habits is your main tool that you need to build, and this is going to supplement it. And I'm hoping that people, that if there's a message that they hear from this podcast, that's really what they get. If you use everything that we talked about plus the habits, build strong habits, you're going to be golden, and it's going to help you maintain a real good health span, and really that's what all of us are trying to accomplish. That it would keep your health in best shape, and that's the goal. That's really the goal. Ally, I'm sure you have some things we want to plug here in the community side. We have a lot of activities that you may want to share for any of our listeners. I know this is recorded, but some of them might be listening soon. I know we have activities. I'll leave it up to you. Please share to the listeners how they can join and some of the things that's happening around PrimeSpan.
Thank you. So if you want to check out some of our information just on our website, you could go to primespan.life, and it has a comprehensive list of all of our programs and information. We currently are focusing on our guided intro to PrimeSpan, which is a very affordable way to get to know our program. If you're unsure on, are these the right steps to take for you, it's a great way to get to know our program, get to know our community and our membership. And we are launching our PrimeSpan Build coaching program, which serves us to have.
Thank you for spending time with us. If today's conversation gave you clarity or steadiness, take that with you. We release new episodes weekly. Follow the PrimeSpan Podcast on Apple Podcasts so you don't miss what's next. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep living well.